All right, guys. I apologize. I'm a few minutes late. Wanted to come up live today to kind of give you guys the update on what is going on Monday, 7/28. We are at the end of July here, but wanted to give you guys updates on kind of the numbers and show you guys kind of what's going on a Monday here. So it's not just numbers that we're talking about or numbers that we make up. These are numbers from the MLS based on our local market in Minnesota, and we'll cover some of the questions that I usually ask or I usually see every single week when people are talking about buying or selling or a combination of both, right? So, again, if you guys are new to this channel, I appreciate you guys and your time. Normally, this channel is about maybe 5, 10, 15 minutes. Sometimes, if we're covering in depth stuff, it may go a little bit longer. However, I have a local team with Team LNG in Minnesota here as a realtor. And I just like to post these things so that you guys can be current on whatever the market is doing so you can be better make good decisions for yourself. All right. So let's jump into this. All right. So hopefully you guys see this on top. Again, this is only my third time really posting using these platforms. So I apologize if things are not working right. However, usually I post on Facebook. Now I'm on doing reshare on streaming so I can stream on YouTube and Facebook. So again, it'll get easier as time goes by. But again, if anything doesn't look right or if you guys don't see certain things, please comment wherever the box is so I can update that. Okay. So first and foremost, let's look at coming soon. Okay. This is as of the last 24 hours. So coming soon, you have 58, new listings 69, back on market 17, price decreases 86. Wow. Okay. So more drop than the listings coming out. And again, this is a Monday. Okay. We'll come back and kind of comb through each one. Price increase is 9, pendings 157, close 119, cancellation 27, expired is 12. Okay. So every single agent, when they're looking at this data, we internalize it differently. We understand it differently. I've kind of catered mine to a certain region around the metro. So I'm within an hour or so of the metro so that you guys would get real data based on where you live. That's where most of the real estate happens for us. That's kind of where my focus is. So the numbers are not the whole state. It's just that's a little bit lower than what I have ever. Again, it is a Monday and we are at the end of July. People are still on vacation. Um, August, September slows down a little bit more until school's in session. So it's kind of to be expected. New listings at 69. Again, it's a Monday. I don't expect to see 150 or 200 showings, two properties, I mean, right? So under 100 property listed on a Monday, I think that's perfectly normal. I would probably expect it to be a little bit lower, to be honest. Back on market 17. These are ones that did not go through. The negotiation did not work between the two parties. Price decreases 86. That's a very high number compared to the listings that we see come out in 24 hours. It's not a high number of reduction. 86 is not a high number of reduction. However, when I see that number usually bigger, whether it's a Monday or a Friday, when that's larger than your new listing, I take note of that because it's not common in a traditional market that the sellers are like selling like crazy. That number does not exist because properties are selling so quick that there's no time to reduce. So one is that prices are too high, quality is not there, or something else is going on. All right. However, the case, it means that if you're a buyer, you have reduction opportunities. Price increases, that's pretty normal. It's just sometimes when people put properties that are coming soon and then they change it when they go live, that's probably what's affecting that number. And again, I don't know that for sure, but that's what I would say probably can shift that number. Pendings is 157. So those are the ones that went over the weekend and people agreed on price and terms, and now they're pending, which means they're just preparing to close. Those are not active inspection, those are pendings, okay? Which means they're prepared to close. So good to see that number. It means that the real estate values are still high. There's still lots of buyers right there. And I would agree with it because I showed a few this weekend. And again, I would say almost 80 to 90% of all those that I saw are all pending within 2 days. Okay. Closed 119. That's good for Monday. Usually Monday's a little bit slower, even though Monday starts off the week. Tuesday, Wednesdays, I would expect to see a little bit more. Thursday is a good day for closing. So we'll kind of see what that does. And again, I don't do Friday postings all the time, but sometimes I do if I see a great shift in the numbers or something interesting that I want to share with you guys, then I'll come back and do a bonus post. Cancellations 27. That number is still kind of high in my opinion. It means that people could not sell and they cancel, which means they did not achieve their goals and did not reach the plans that they set. Expire means that they're on the market longer than the agreed contract and it expired. Okay. So again, there's nothing wrong with these numbers. I think that those numbers are pretty similar to what I would see on a Monday on average. The only thing to take in mind is there's a larger number of reduction than there are coming out. And again, that means that if you're in the market to buy, it doesn't mean every house is right, but it means the right home. And if it hasn't moved yet, the sellers are probably more interested in a price reduction, or maybe they'll pay closing costs or something to that effect. Okay. So let's jump into the questions now. Okay. Let's jump into the questions. I don't know. I think you could see it below. Okay. I think when I reviewed it on YouTube, the questions came up below. I can't see it unless I click on it, but I did write them down so that I can remember the exact questions to be able to answer, in more thorough sense to give you guys some things to think about. So, what is the market rate doing as of today? If you watched my Friday video that I did a bonus video on over the weekend, the rates dropped to around 6.5. So FHA would drop to about 6.25. Conventional is around 6.5, and that's like a 780 credit score, like high credit score. Okay, so if you're below that, the rates may be a little bit different. However, it's still good to see that the rate dropped. As of today, it went back up. Okay, it went back up. The rates are about 7.7, 7.8. FHA is like 7.4, 7, no, 6.4, 6.5, and the high side is 6.7, 6.8. Okay. But again, it depends on the programs you're taking, and it depends on your debt to income and your overall credit score. Okay, which changes everything. However, the rate did go back up. Okay. And this changes weekly, sometimes daily. So don't bet everything on just making sure the rate is perfect. Okay. I would say find the right home. Make sure the numbers work for you and your partner or your family, whoever is buying. And then hopefully, if you're buying and timing everything correctly, you lock a rate that's a little bit better. But it does change daily. Okay. What question number two? Is now a good time to buy and sell? Again, based on the numbers that we just covered, the pendings are high, the reduction's a little bit low, but the ones that are priced right, they're selling fast. Okay. So some properties you should already know between the conversation with you and your agent that when you come out, it's going to take longer to sell. Some properties is going to sell like overnight. Okay. That is the reality that you should know before you even go live. Um, I would say that it's still a great time to sell. Yes, the properties are fewer now, but there's still lots of buyers sitting, waiting. And I still have buyers that are doing the same thing. So buyers are still sitting and waiting because they're looking for the right deal, the nice house, the right bed and bath, the right price point, right location. They still need options to choose from. It is still good time to sell and transition if you're buying farther out or brand new or house with acreage. They still have plenty of those options. On my bonus posting, I also saw many houses in the 700,000. If you're buying secondary or you're buying third time or your dream home or whatever you want to call it, they are having a lot of price reduction. So it's still a great time. Some of the lenders are doing 2-1 buy downs. Some of them are doing complete rate buy down instead of like a 2-1 or a 3-1. They're just doing a complete rate change where if you qualify with their lender, you may be at like 5.875 or something like that. Okay. They don't last forever. Usually they're short timelines when they do something like this, 30 days or less. Not every builder would do it. However, some of them, if you negotiate correctly, some of them may take your offer. If they don't offer that, they may take it to give you that option just so that you'll buy their house. Okay. So it's still good time for transition there. So I would say for the sell side, it is still good. You can net 99% at the top if you're pricing it right. For the buyers, you are still seeing deals that are getting reduced, or if you find the right home, you can still negotiate. If you're finding the average home that's under 400,000 in the metro right now, you probably have a lot of competition. Okay, that is to be expected because a lot of homes in that 300 are not as big and not as nice, and when you get to the 400, they're getting very competitive. Okay, that's at least what we see in the metro now. The third question, last question here today is how do I apply for down payment assistance, or do we still have the first gen down payment assistance, or are there other programs? Um, there are other programs like Woodbury and St. Paul and some of these other cities around the metro. They have their own personal loan. Doesn't always fit well with other programs. Okay. However, the case, I would say that it doesn't make sense to just go to that city and expect to find the right home at the right price to use that program. It takes maybe a little bit longer, or you may be settling for a house that you don't like just to have that program. Really, the only program we have left in Minnesota is the down payment assistance, and they lower that amount to create less competition. Okay, at least that's what I was told from my lenders. Um, it used to be 18,000. I believe you still can get 18,000 if you are fully deferred, which means that you have to qualify for that. You have to be under a certain good credit, lower good credit and not maximum income. So you have to hit a certain number. Then you can qualify for that. And especially if you're a first time buyer, they may give you a little bit more benefit there. But again, you have the down payment assistance with Minnesota Housing in Minnesota here, but they are getting a little bit tricky. And if you don't get the deferred one, you have to pay interest back. That one is at 14,000, I believe now. And that one costs a lot more. So one of the pros and cons of using this loan, hopefully you're having this discussion with your agent, or having a discussion with your lender about this, because this is your payment. This is your home. You need to know about this. When you're taking down payment assistance, your rate, let's say, for example, if the rate today was 6.7 or 6.8 on average with the perfect score, if you were buying today and you had a house under contract and you're using down payment assistance, my guess is that you'll probably be over 7%, maybe 7.25. That's what we see, is that rate goes up when you're taking that loan, and you may have additional loan costs in order to take that loan. Okay. I don't know your file. I'm not your loan officer. So those numbers can change all the time. I've seen plenty of those numbers come back to my buyers. So I just want to give you guys a heads up that if you are taking down payment assistance, sometimes it could be good if you don't have a lot of cash on hand to be able to close the deal, but it does raise your payment per month, raise your APR, and raise your total cost to close. So to be honest, sometimes it's not better for you. Okay. If you could do like 401k or gift money or save up some money or pay off some bills or trade your car so your payment goes down, there's some things that you can do that will be way better for you in the long run than to do down payment assistance. Okay. And that's what that program is for. It's not for everyone. It's for a select few who doesn't have enough income but has really great credit, and they're buying first time, but maybe they're not buying like extremely high. So it's still affordable. It's kind of something like that. Okay. But there is that program out there. The first gen right now is put on hold. I heard that there's over 500 or 600 applicants still. They may run out of money. Don't put your hopes on waiting for that program. If you have already applied for it, you may still get it. If you have not applied for it, I would say you got to move on now, because that program is probably gone. Okay. Unless there's more money out of the blue somewhere, which again, all these programs are getting cut already anyways with the new administration. So I would say that probably when we in the term of the program, I don't know that we're going to see another one anytime soon. At least that's what I think, because of all the new changes that are coming. Okay. So if you're a first gen buyer and you have applied already, you may still get it. If you're not a person that's applied, you may never see that program again until they decide to put it back out. Okay. So I would not hope that it comes back in 6 months or a year or 2 years from now. We don't know until the lenders tell us that this program is coming. Then we'll market this again for you guys to be able to utilize this. It was a great program for a lot of the clients that I've had. It's not for everyone, and it's also gone now. Okay. So the other question is, how does it work, right? So I explained a little bit about how that down payment assistance works. It's not for everyone. Sometimes when you use it, your cost goes up, and you also have to have your agent break down your 5 year and your 10 year break even to see what your numbers look like, because there is a cost associated per month, and there's a cost on the interest rate, and you still have to pay it back. That is not a loan that's forgiven. Okay, the first gen loan, if you did have it, it is forgiven depending on which one you have. Okay, you have one that goes away in 20 years, or 50% in 10, which is the first one that we were using last year at 35,000, or you have the second one this year, which that one it goes away in 5 years. Okay, it goes away in 5 years, and that's up to 32,000. Okay, so again, those are kind of what the options are right now. And if you're in a different state and you would like some feedback, or you would like to know what's going on in your market and you have questions, or maybe you want to connect with the right agent combination with a lender, let me know. I do refer a lot of business in other states, have plenty of great agents in other states that can serve you guys well. Again, the hardest part is going out there talking to agents when you're brand new and you don't know who's on your team, who's on your side, who is going to give you the right information. That's where we can really step in to have that conversation for you, because we have a certain way that we do things. We're looking for those type of agents, and when we find them, then they're going to have a very good system that can help you get to where your goals are. All right. So if you're in a different state, we'd love to have a conversation. If you have a question, if you're from Minnesota and you're starting the first time, you don't know what to do, comment below or message me. I would love to help you guys out. Again, every single agent team is different. Every single buyer and sellers are different. Hire who you trust, and hire who is going to be here to help you guys, give you honest feedback from the very beginning until the end. All right. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate your time. You can rewatch this in YouTube, and my Facebook will probably expire in 30 days because the videos always get deleted. So again, you can catch me again on YouTube if you want to replay this to watch and go through some stuff that we covered. All right. Anything you guys want me to cover on real estate market update each week, or if something came up that you have a question on, we'd love to do a bonus post to talk about it. Let me know what I can do to help you guys. Again, we're here to serve you guys, to give you guys the most current and up-to-date market update every single Monday on real estate market update with Team LNG KW. All right. Thank you guys. I appreciate your time. I will see you guys next Monday on the next post. All right. Bye-bye.